How's it going? Did you guys accidentally get kicked? Sorry about that. My apologies. I hit the wrong button. How's everyone doing today? Mediocre, good, bad. It's Monday. How good can it be? Joe, you would make an excellent mime. Your facial expressions are fantastic. Maybe everyone wants to be you. You just didn't know it. Happy Monday, everyone. And it is 1:30. It's probably time that we get started. I'll give people a moment because I accidentally kicked everyone. Hit the wrong button to start a different session accidentally instead of starting this session. And since this session was already going, it was like, oh, you must not want this session anymore. All right, let's see here. So we've spent the last few class days rather. I don't know what you did Saturday and Sunday, but the last few class days learning about Node and Express. We're probably feeling like we're ready to do something with it, like a new assignment. All right, well, I've got one for you. Isn't that nice? Let's see here. Let me share my screen. Got the chat up so I can see what people are saying. Colby seems unhappy about the prospect of a new assignment. It'll be fun. Okay, here we go. Kayla seems to not believe me. All right. Yes, meaning to life. Love it. All right. Let's go ahead and look at that. And you'll notice it's not actually there. Let's see. Yeah, I was giving people time to catch up. There's still a couple people who are dealing with forms issues. And if you are, please reach out for some help. I have been able to help several students solve their problems. I did the form validation a little bit differently than I used to do it with the tutors. So sometimes they may get a little bit stuck. And if that's the case, just come see me. I'm happy to help. Okay, so express yourself. Because, you know, using Express and never mind. It's not very fun, very much fun if I have to explain it, but I'm sure I probably didn't. All right, build a website for a fictitious product. You get to invent that product. Here are the specs for the finished website. It contains a title page, a features page, and an order page. Use Express and Pug for templates and routing. And you know how to do that. We've done that in class. So The menu system and the content for the features page should be stored in a JSON file on the back end. So if someone wants to modify the content on the website, all they have to do is modify the JSON file. They don't even need to know how to code. How cool is that? And you might be thinking, how on earth are we going to do that with a JSON file? But we just created a menu system with a JSON file, right? You know a JSON file can be extremely complex and hold tons and tons of information, right? Okay, cool. The order page should be a form that requires name, address, phone, and email. And you might be thinking, wait a minute, whoa. We've done front-end forms before, but we haven't really dealt with the back-end side of forms. That's fine. I'll do a demo on that later. Like, maybe tomorrow. Does that sound reasonable? Unless, of course, the assignment's due tomorrow, and then maybe it's not reasonable, but it won't be. Okay. When the order form has been submitted, have the information be saved to a text file on the server using FS. I haven't mentioned FS at all, but W3 Schools to the rescue. FS stands for file system. Oh, look, that's all you have to do, FS require. You can actually do a const on it. You don't have to do a bar, but this is a little old school. FS stands for file system. You do not need to install, even though we're using a require. FS is one of those built-in packages. Comes already with Node. It already works just fine. And it's actually really easy. Okay. Some of this might even look familiar. So in this particular case, they're reading an HTML file. Some of this should actually look familiar. Let me see if there is a better example here. Oh, here we go. Here's how you can append data to a file. Here's how you can open and write to a file. Even shows what happens if there's an error. So you can go through and see how some of this stuff works. It's actually not hard, or you can use write file. Both of these actually, we've got an open file here, and this is opening a file for writing. This is, this will create a file if one doesn't exist, and allows you to write content directly to it. That appends to a file. So pretty much everything you need to know about the basics of FS, W3 Schools has you covered. Anyway, professionally designed pages. Look at other product websites for inspiration. Nothing should break or look terrible if I change the window size. So put those responsive skills to use so that you all learned how to do Flex. Do you remember how to do Flex? Hopefully. Are you going to need me to do a little refresher on Flex? You guys got this. Maybe. I might do one another day or two. Okay. No libraries or modules except for FS, Express, Body Parser. We haven't talked about that. Body Parser is used when you deal with forms, and we will talk about that. I'll do a demo on it at some point, like tomorrow. And Pug. All code must be original or from this class's lectures. That doesn't sound too bad. Here's some additional information about Pug, in case you would like additional information about Pug. Tell someone that I'm busy. There we go. All right. Any questions about this? I'm leaving it pretty wide open. I want you to be creative. I want you to come up with something that's kind of fun, because I'm a big believer in having people use both halves of the brain. That's important, right? Remember, the BSWD logo thing, both sides of the brain there. Yeah. Anyway, um, so have some fun with this. Almost all of this we've talked about in class. We haven't talked about FS, but W3 Schools has your back. And we haven't talked about form submission. And I'll do a whole demo on form submission to the back end, and that should make that easier. So that means the rest of it is just taking stuff that we have already learned how to do and piecing it all together to make like a useful website. That's not too bad, right? Hopefully. If you're lost about stuff, if you have questions, you know, I'm here. That's what I do. My coaches should be far more familiar with how to do this stuff, because this assignment has not changed at all since when they took the class. Any questions, concerns?
I'll talk to you after class a little bit about my forms assignment.
Yes, yes, you
Okay.
can. In fact, because I've got the whole breakout room thing figured out, I could probably even, when we get started on work, I could probably put us in a breakout room, and I could talk to you during class if you want. Okay, the one other thing is I have an absolutely terrible participation quiz for you. Excuse me, survey. So if you would go ahead and do that participation survey. Oh, never used flex in styling. All right, well, maybe I need a more detailed flex thing. So, all right, let's do this. Let's say we'll do forms tomorrow, because those are absolutely essential to do this assignment. And then on Wednesday, I will do a whole flex refresher and maybe go into a little more detail than I did in Intro to Web. Would that be beneficial? Cool. Again, I apologize for the participation quiz there. It's pretty atrocious. Anthony just sort of sunk down and disappeared off the screen. All right, try this trick. Oh, never mind. All right, everyone's got the participation quiz? Life's happy? Cool. I'll try and get better jokes, but no promises. Well, I did say no promises. Anyway, let's go to work. And
Professor Beatty, really quickly, while we're still on the topic of dad jokes, use Google. Just say, "Hey Google, tell me a dad joke," and there you go.
Well, I find that there are actually some Facebook groups that provide me with some wonderful dad jokes. It's nice because it means my Facebook feed is something more than political arguing. And people who have decided they are suddenly experts on the coronavirus. Anyway, so with that in mind, let's go to work. And Chaz, I'll break out with you first. And if anyone else wants to talk to me, then certainly we can. Yes, Colby, apparently I have lots of acquaintances on Facebook that believe that. Anyway, let's go to work and do cool things. Feel free to shout out if you have any questions or whatever. At the moment, though, I'm going to be in a separate breakout room with Chaz and talking about another assignment. So I will be back hopefully momentarily. Okay, folks, I am back from that breakout session. If anybody needs anything else, I am here and available. Feel free to either call out on your microphone or chat something. Although I believe there have been dad jokes appearing on the chat, so. All right. Well done, Dustin. Oh, I haven't. Oh, thanks. I haven't opened the assignment yet. My bad. Let me do that. We need to decide when it's due, too. Let me share my screen. I'm kind of feeling like Monday. Like a week to knock this thing out. Does that seem reasonable to people? Yeah? Hang on. The chat just went nuts. Okay. Everyone likes it. Let me edit this and make sure that Monday is the day. And then I will share it. Definitely not May. Forget that. All right. So, and probably not 8 o'clock in the morning. Let's make it 1:30 p.m. I don't care about that right now. Save and publish. So Monday, April 27th at 1:30. Bar exam results. Okay. Everyone did participation? Cool. All right. Tell me your question.
The question is the downloading of Node on the command prompt for like the Node modules package.
Okay. What about it?
I'm still having trouble on remembering all the key words to install it because I'm still new to Node or to command prompt.
I think pretty much almost all of you are new to Node degree. All right.
Yeah.
So let me share my screen here again. And I will go through your common commands for this sort of stuff. So
Okay, I'm about to write them down now. Because I thought I could remember them. Well, I was wrong about that.
It's fine. All right.
That's exactly how I feel.
All right. I'll just interactive web dev node. I'm just going to call this test demo. Okay, so when you've got a new project, first thing you want to do is type in CMD to bring up your command prompt. And that brings it up inside the directory that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Got that done. All
right. Now, to create a new project, do you remember what the command is?
It was, hold on, I have it.
Like npm or something.
npm.
Yeah, it's npm I.
Okay, that's install.
Okay.
You're close. It definitely starts with I. It even goes in.
Oh.
Init, remember?
Yes.
So npm init to start up a new project. And that's
to start up the new project, huh?
Well, that's going to ask you all the questions so that it can create the package.json.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I'm going to hit enter here, and it says you want to call it test demo, and I do, because that's what I named my folder. So I'm just going to hit enter. It's going to ask me what version I'm using, and by default it wants to make it version 1.0.0. I don't really care what version test demo is. I mean, this is the first version, so I might as well keep the default there. Description, I have no idea. I could put in anything I want here. I could say, this is a test demo that I am just going to delete. Entry point by default is index.js. I'm good with that, so I'm going to leave that there. Test command, we're not doing any testing on this, so I'm just going to hit enter there. Not going to worry about the Git repo right now. Not going to worry about keywords so people can find it, don't care. Author, I could put me in there if I really wanted to. License, I'll keep the default license. And it says, are you okay with all this? And I am, so I'm going to hit enter, and it has now written package.json, which basically contains this information just as it's written there.
Okay.
Okay, so npm init when you're starting a brand new project. Now, to install the things that we know we need Express and we need Pug. And you can either write out the word install, or you can just type npm I.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I tried doing first, but I forgot about the init.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, the thing is, the first time you set up a project, you need to tell it what's installed. And so I'm going to say npm I, and I'm going to install Express and Pug. And I just can put a space between Express and Pug. And I hit enter, and it's going to go ahead and install those things. And it should create a node modules directory for me, where it's going to save those new packages. Oh, look, there it is. And so if I were to look at my package.json right now, you could see there it is. Oh, I don't care about that right now. And it's added these dependencies. It now knows that I want Express and Pug installed. And because of that, if I wanted to delete my node modules, I actually could. Oh, there they go. And I can now just do npm I, and since my package.json says my dependencies are Express and Pug, it's looking at that and it will automatically reinstall those for me.
Okay.
Which is why I tell you when you submit, you don't need to include your node modules. In fact, you shouldn't include your node modules. And I'll tell you why. Because if I go to Google and I say heaviest objects in the universe, and I go and grab images here, you'll see that the sun is heavy, a neutron star is heavier, the black hole is even heavier, and node modules is far heavier than all of those things.
Makes sense to me.
All right.
I love and hate that you know exactly where that meme is.
So anyway, you know, truth is truth. So those are the most important things. The other thing to remember is how to run your project. And assuming you have an index.js, which I don't actually have here, but if I did have one, because I've got nodemon installed, I can run it just by doing nodemon. Otherwise, the other way to do it is doing node index.js, and it would run my index.js.
Yeah.
Any questions? Is that?
That was about it. That was just the part I need to remember, and I just wrote them down, so that helps me out.
The only other thing that we have done, in case you're you reimage or something, is we installed NodeMon. And we did that one a little differently because we made it global. And so we did npm install -g NodeMon. And that actually installs NodeMon globally, so it's not just specific to this package. And you do want NodeMon to be global because then you can run it anywhere at any time. You don't want to do that with Express and Pug. You want those to be specific to your project.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else have any questions about this while I've got it open and it's here?
There's the difference between node.index.js, or wait, node.index.js and node daemon.
Okay, so this will just run index.js. And if I'm doing a Express project, if I make changes to that project, I have to stop my server and start it back up to see those changes. When I use NodeMon, that stands for Node Monitor. It's monitoring when I make changes and save it. And when I do make changes, it will automatically stop the server and start it back up again. So I don't have to do that. NodeMon takes a step away from me, so it makes my life easier. It takes away the daemons. That's why it's no daemon or NodeMon. Yeah. Any other questions? Cool. Let's get back to it. All right, let's hear your funny question.
Oh, there you are.
I'm here.
For your material icon themes, are you supposed to, I installed it, but you're supposed to like search for something. And I want mine to be cool like yours, because I'm jealous. I don't know what ones yours are called.
You should just need to find the extension material icon themes and then install it, and it should automatically work from there. So let me show you.
Well, I say set icon theme, and then it wants me to search for one or something.
Oh, no. So come into extensions, type in material icon theme, and then you should just be able to install it, and I think it will give you what you want. This is just the default one. And you can see I've got my full color Pug in there. And lots of other cool logos. You shouldn't need to worry about the set file icon theme.
I guess mine's just cross-eyed then.
I mean, I only have one material icon theme.
Oh, I just barely figured it out. You're supposed to, when you click set icon theme, you're supposed to click the other one. Yeah, you're supposed to click that. Okay, I'm retarded. Thank you, though.
You're welcome. I think I've got an older version, and so it just works.
It's so nice looking now. All the folders look cute.
Yeah, isn't that pretty? I'm a fan. Yeah, because all we're doing,
Pug.
Yeah, we're creating backend files dynamically using Pug. It's taking the layout.pug that we're using, and it's plugging in index.pug or contact us pug, whatever, and it's dynamically building the HTML for us and sending it down to the browser. It's really all backend.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
You want us to use like the whole local host then with the port 3000?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what my graders will be doing when they look at it. Okay, so we are just about out of time. Do people have any final questions, concerns? Dead silence.
Question.
Yeah.
Can we have more than the pages that are required? Like just one extra page?
Yeah, that's fine. You want to do more than I'm asking? Oh, by all means. Yeah, if you want to add more, yeah, please do. Yes, Adobe would be nice now, Ryan. Sorry. What specifically are you looking for? Photoshop? So it's not quite as good as Photoshop. Actually, it's not nearly as good as Photoshop. But for a nice Band-Aid to get you through this class until next quarter, when you actually will get the Adobe Creative Cloud license, assuming you declare web. But my daughter swears by Fire Alpaca, which is a free download, and it's not terrible. The interface looks more like Photoshop than GIMP, which is another thing that people often tend to use. But yeah, she's actually a pretty big fan of Fire Alpaca. You might want to give it a try. I haven't actually worked with it myself, but I know it does have layers and different brushes that you can use. And so it does have several features. And personally, I think although GIMP is pretty powerful, as a user-friendly application, it really is not. So take your choice. User-friendliness, easy to pick up. Fire Alpaca, probably more powerful GIMP, but a little bit on the ugly side. So anyway, with that in mind, I will see everyone tomorrow, and I will teach you how to do forms with Express. So have a good day, do cool things, and we'll see you in like 23 hours.